Shalom, fellow Ambazonians. Good morning. Today na Saturday, number 29 day for this month of August 2023. My name na Capo Daniel, una own countryman, sense past king, Mr. No Connie. Una welcome to our daily podcast, a program where they bring una the truth, where they bring una meaningful information, fact-based analysis for help we as we work out for this journey to our freedom, to the independence of Ambazonia. Our good people of Ambazonia at home and abroad will accept revolutionary greetings. For this episode of our daily podcast, it will be based on our cultural warrior, the emancipation campaign to enable Ambazonia to free itself. The Bible says, knowledge is power. My people die because of lack of knowledge. Indeed, we shall be empowered by knowledge and by the truth. By this truth shall we be saved. But we go start today with the story of one very famous technician where they work for radio station for inside Bamenda where they call Tendong Julius. Where La Republique Jabi they be catchy, take you go for B-Cam. Today they ran release without any charge. According to our information, La Republique Jabi they be attacked their quarter for my 6 for Mancon with picture of a face where they be the one for look for ye be the koi say name na chair. Then ready house, he name no be na chair, but the picture they be get am be na name. They ran carry go keep am for B station, BD up would get stories of horror. Unfortunately, Ila refused to be able to be interviewed, so that make a story not be another point of a contention with ye and La Republique. But at the end of the day, La Republique don't talk say be been a case of missing identity. The question now who be give the Julius Tendong as a picture for the BDM where they be perform this raid for their house for Kachi. I'm sure there will be no investigation because we Anglophones, we Ambazonians have become a toy in their arsenal to exploit with and to kill, to arrest, to torture with impunity. So my country people, as today, the focus for the podcast is being on emancipation campaign. Yesterday, we didn't get a very deep discussion with one of our this SCNC them for Bamenda, where they always advise we. The he don't call and he don't give us a lot of questions and things for discussing with our people them. And I will start this conversation with one big statement where one famous American fighter for free black people them, where they call him Malcolm X, he be talking. Malcolm X, he be make a statement where he be famous as a quote. He talks say, if you are not careful, the newspaper will have you hating the people who are being oppressed and loving the people who are doing the oppressing. Malcolm X, he be make this statement as a result of the infighting or the hatred between the various black groups them, where they be the fight against segregation and racism for inside America. A lot of people they don't forget, even though they know be the core American and apartheid country, but between 1900 and 1939, the American government, they began a system of segregation. They call them segregation era, where it not be very much different from the apartheid system where it be there for South Africa. During those time, the black people them, they began different movement them with different idea on how to fight and free the black people. Amongst the famous group them, it will be the Black Panther. You get the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. You also get the most famous one where they call them the Black Power Movement. And then you get the big one where it don't survive up to today, where they call them the Nation of Islam. The Nation of Islam and all the majority of the groups them, they will be very, very strong groups them, when they be actually the fight physically for defend black people them and for fight their right. All this movement them, they not be ready succeed for attain their goal and for end the segregation until Martin Luther King he become with the civil rights movement where he own idea he be and say, I have a dream. I think say all una remember those part them. During those period, them way Martin Luther King he become for the American people their fight, all the established group them, they will become an issue of hatred and a lot of debate amongst the black people them for America. Because the Black Panther movement, the Black Power movement of Malcolm X and many of those strong people them for the Nation of Islam, their idea it be been as say, me black people then go back for Africa. And for the interim time, me black people then look for land for inside America, build their own economy, build their own country, because they no fit stay together with the white people them. Malcolm X, he become with his own idea, now say for win these white people them, now for fight with them with their own tool, using their own constitution, using their own value. During those debates, the Nation of Islam, the Black Panther, the Black Power movement them, they will be highly criticized by Malcolm X and some other groups them. And rumor they even be say the American government will be kill Malcolm X, it be even used now the other black group them meet and kill Malcolm X, also use the black group them meet and kill even the Martin Luther King. So this infighting be make Malcolm X for make this statement. Say the news where the black people they be get them primarily from newspaper and for radio them. It make them immediately hate each other and sometimes even admire or love the oppressed. It be na the dilemma and wait till way it be one made the people them realize them with this statement. Now the same challenges the way I believe we for Ambazonia would go through. One of our sister them, I will call her sister, we will be call it Jezebel. Now that girl where it be the work with Sako, where it be make some prayer, very powerful prayer, say make God he kills Seseko for prison. Today this girl it then be one of the people where they the champion the cause say make Ambazonian people then come gather together for inside America. A lot of my people they call me say why are they talk about them because I they instead give them credibility. Now the problem that we'll get for Ambazonia, people then they decide say they not go talk about something where it be important. Because then feel say by talking about it, you make and that thing the popular people that go hear. So they end up for become the behave like La Republic. For give people them the silent treatment. Feel say somehow it make us better or it will destroy something. Because we be now a people where we not feel allow make any man is succeed for our back. If we discover and say we engage with somebody, we go help the person in any way, we go decide for should don't we quiet for see how the person go suffer. Now our culture that way we don't develop them for this slavery mentality and I think that we'll need for stop them. So I want to address this issue about unity. Because for a layman, when you sit down for ground zero, you go think it be very frustrating for say Ambazonian and then be in different group. And for a layman, you go feel say if all these Ambazonian group then be just come together like one, think that for be better, we know for the argue each other, we know go the cockroach each other. If all we be the talk with one mob, one man talks something, all man is support him. All man is she don't quiet for support the one man. Somehow we go be more effective and somehow we go win. Now the mindset that of a lay person, a very person will not be complex, untrained mind. Now say you go to think. Why a person go to think that way? Now because a person go to feel say, if some person it talk something will be different from way to way another person they talk it make them they confused. They don't know which one for follow. If people then they for different group, they don't know which one for support. And then for some people then they go to feel bad if they belong to a group and then that group be for on top. They see another group they go to feel jealous. All those confusion where they come with the perception of unity. Now a very primate, a very lay way for observing or thinking. And it is not the perfect and right or effective way of thinking. Ambazonian people, they may understand, say, our problem, no be because we will be divided. When I remember, say, in the beginning of this struggle, Ambazonian had many groups, but all of them were functioning in areas that they prioritized and everybody would join them. As a matter of fact, when Maurice Ibidi organized most of the protests the way he did for America, no man no be even no self say, now some Maurice the organizer because people were just following what stands for Ambazonia. When there is a protest for Ambazonia, we encourage everybody to go. When there is a story in Ambazonia, We encourage everybody to send them to the international press. We're all functioning for one goal, knowing very well that everybody was working towards the same goal. Like Malcolm X's statement, he talk, the newspaper them go make you for start for hate the person way it try for liberate you, and somehow it go translate to love or support for your real oppressor. The problem we will get them, no be say will be divided. The problem we will get them na say the various divisions and units we have, or the various group we have, are focused on generating and engineering hatred for each other. They see each other like competition of dominance and relevance. They don't see each other as partners or people fighting for the same objective. Even when all of them are fighting for the same thing, their primate instinct of self-aggrandizement and ego always triumph our commonality. In terms of looking at other groups who are fighting for the same thing positively, it's difficult for Ambazonian groups to appreciate anything good that is coming from the other groups simply because it will reflect bad on them. For the street them for Ambazonia, they call this phenomenon of this primate instinct, say bad belle. That means say your mind is being conditioned, your belly is bad. Anything will come up from inside your belly, if not gas, it will smell all around you. So when you get bad belly, you see your other group them like competition. You know one makes someone it go ahead where you go remain for back. You know the thing say if someone it go ahead, now you two go ahead because say when they fight now for the same objective. Your mind it be focused on your group, your own president, your own leader. So much where if you see victory without your group, without your leader, you don't see it as victory for you. Out of this bad belly, anything where you talk about other groups them, now for destroy them, now for lie against them, now for try for sabotage them. That is the problem we have in Ambazonia. It is not that we are divided. As a matter of fact, diversity is a strength. The fact that we are divided makes it impossible for La Republique to undermine us. But our problem is not that we are divided. Our problem is this bad belly that we have against each other. Every group is lying about every other person, and every group is lying about themselves. The IG group will come and claim that it belongs to all the Ambazonia. It is representing all Ambazonia. It is the government. The problem is not to have a government, but the claim of who are you as a government. If you are a government of the IG for Ambazonian interests, it is a good thing. But when you start to claim that you are a government for everybody, when you know that you are just a government elected by only your group members, then that is the problem we have. If you are a group, you are in a group like the AGC, and your leader that you elect in your own group there, whether you are 15 people or you are 20 people, and when your leader come out and say that I am the commander-in-chief of all Ambazonian forces, you know that is a lie. But that is what he will say, and all his group members will try to start to force any action in Ground Zero to be under their group. That is the problem. We are divided, but if we are effective for one common goal, and we are honest with ourselves and we speak the truth, we will have no problem with diversity. If we are all focusing on one enemy, La Republique, and on one goal, the independence, we will have no problem. Our problem is not that we have many groups in Ambazonia. Our problem is that we are not honest with ourselves. We are not honest with our people. We lie about who we are. In lying about who we are, we denigrate others. When you come and you claim that you represent everybody, anybody who is not under you will feel offended. And when you go and you start lying about other groups, you do what Malcolm X was warning. You make people to hate everybody else. You start intimidating your own supporters not to talk about other groups. You start kicking out people in your groups that listen to other people. You create your own bubble. You isolate yourself. And you now speak amongst your own small group of followers as though you are speaking to every Ambazonia, but nobody out of your group listens to you. So our problem now is that we have built a partisan system where the IG talk only to their group, they create their own chat group only for their own people, the egg of C do the same, Maurice does the same, and then the vast majority of Ambazonian people are now isolated from every group. People with sound mind have been kicked out of every group. People who reason have been kicked out of every group. And every group is living in their own delusion and their own bubble. What Ambazonians need is agreement. Agreement for the right of our people. Agreement on principle. Agreement on agenda. Agreement on how to pursue that agenda. Ambazonians have to stop lying. Ambazonians must know that lying kills. Lying destroys. If you are fighting against La Republique, there are reasons why you are fighting against La Republique. If those same reasons start to apply to you, there is no way you can win La Republique. Our problem is not disunity. Our problem is dishonesty. Our problem is partisanship that puts groups above country. What unites our people today is building their own group, rebuilding their own image, and being able to fight other groups. People unite, or people want to unite today because they feel that they have lost relevance, or they want to counter the power and the force that they have seen that is gathering for the people of Ambazonia. How can you stop this momentum that Capo Daniel have had in the international community? If everybody in the international community is talking to this guy, and then they have cut us off, how do we position ourselves not to fight for Ambazonia, but to fight relevance? That have become our main thing that drives us. And we should look at the damage this partisanship have done to us. The partisanship, desperation of that partisanship, make Chris Anu and Sako to do what they have done. Imagine how many soldiers have died. How many people have they killed along the way. So you want to come and bring people together. First thing, be honest about the mistake you have made in the past. If you were calling the ADF that they were receiving guns from La Republique, they are working with La Republique. Ayabacho is working for La Republique. Today you are announcing in the public that you are talking to Ayabacho. How does that makes you feel in yourself or the people that listens to you? Inconsistency. The egg of C have labeled Chris Anu and Sako as infiltrators in this struggle. Today they will talk to them. How do you feel if we are discussing with infiltrators and people who have killed our own soldiers? Yesterday they arrested General Efang. ADF refused him that they don't know him. So these are the inconsistency we have. Before you go out and you call somebody La Republique, make sure you have the fact. Don't call somebody La Republique because you disagree with that person, or you are trying to bring down that person hoping that somehow it will elevate you. This is what kills us. Let us stop lying. Just because people that we know on the ground receive bribes does not mean that we think that they are now working for the enemy. La Republique is not as good or as effective as we think. Chris Anu and Sako have publicly, these are the only two people we can say that they have received money from La Republique that have testified, and we have evidence and collaborative testimony to those facts, and their behavior have shown it. Should we accept them, they must account to the deal that they made, to what extent that deal was made, to the policy that they brought about, the county by county that have decimated our struggle, to explain to our people that we made mistake here. Everybody who had listened to those our rhetoric, those narrative, should know that it was born out of this mishap that we have done. Then you can trust them. If you were saying that ADF is receiving guns from La Republique, you were praying that Siseko should die. Were you wrong then? Tell our people. We will believe you. You can never forgive somebody who have not asked for forgiveness. That is stupidity. That is hypocrisy on your own side. The problem Ambazonians have had that has made us where we are today is we lie about each other. We try to destroy each other for partisanship purposes. That is our problem. We should start being honest with each other. Stop intimidating each other. Stop creating mutongs and sardinas amongst our own group members who follow us. And try to put Ambazonian first. If we restore reasoning, sound mind, sanity, we can do better. If we do not, we will not succeed. Everything we are doing, we will not succeed, including the agenda for an alternative solution which we have put forth that is having steam. If we are not still reasonable and we cannot still come around this thing, even no matter how our people are coming around it and our soldiers are coming around it, it will still fail and we will still end up as a captured people. Us ending as a captured people, some of our people think that it means that the war is going to stop. No. If Ambazonian lost, it does not mean that the war will stop. The war will continue like that forever. And they will continue to kill our people. Go and look the history of the Rohingyan Muslims and you see what defeat is like. Defeat is not the absence of war. As we have lost this war, as I told you people, the killing will continue. They will start driving our people away from our land. They will be making new laws. You have seen some laws come out in certain areas banning football, competition and all these type of things. Wars are yet to come. Our land will be forbidden to go back to our land. Our people in our land will be forbidden to go to certain places. Things will only get worse. Don't think that when I say total loss, it means that La Republic will declare winning and then everybody will go back and will be operating in La Republic like we were before. No, gone are those days will be considered as good old days. Go and look at the Rohingyan Muslims. They have been driven from their ancestral land. And those who accept to stay in those lands who cannot move, the Yengwang till today, every day, and the international community have stayed quiet. They know that there is a genocide going on, but they will not do anything about it. There is evil out there, and our people should take this struggle that we have started very seriously, because we don't have choice. Either we conclude it or the conclusion will be on our head forever. So help us God. So I support any idea that brings our people together and our groups together. But I must insist that for our people to have any progress, we must start by being honest with ourselves. We must start by bringing sanity to our struggle for people to be able to think strategically, to think positively, to question and to provide answers that are reasonable and that put the interest and livelihood of our people at the forefront of any other thing. Capo Daniel, looking out for you, signing off.